Hi, I'm Helen from Time2 Resources. This video is going to help you to understand the flow of financial documents. Whenever business transactions take place, there is a flow of financial documents between the customer and supplier. These go backwards and forwards. Here, our customer is Nathan. Nathan is a young entrepreneur who is the owner of a new coffee shop, the Java Stop. The supplier is the Bean Emporium. They roast and package their own beans, as well as sell accessories to the coffee shop market, such as cafetières. Our first document flows from the customer to the supplier. This is the start of the whole process. The customer sends a purchase order to the supplier. Just like when you or I go into a shop, we may tell the shop assistant what we want to buy. The customer is telling the supplier what they want to buy. This is a request from the customer to the supplier to buy goods or services. Upon receipt of the purchase order, the supplier will arrange for the goods to be delivered or the service to be provided. They will send a delivery note. A delivery note is sent by the supplier to the customer to confirm the goods or services that have been supplied. The supplier will then want payment. In order to request payment from the customer, they will send an invoice. This is sent by the supplier to request payment from the customer for the goods or services that they have supplied. Upon receipt of this, it is now up to the customer to pay for the goods or services. The customer will therefore send a payment to the supplier. This may be done electronically or maybe by cash or cheque. The payment is sent by the customer to the supplier to pay for the goods or services received. But they will want some form of acknowledgement from the supplier that their payment has been received. The supplier will therefore send a receipt to the customer. This is sent by the supplier to the customer to confirm that the payment has been received. If, for any reason, the customer has made a mistake in their order or is not entirely satisfied with the goods or service received, they may return some of the goods to the supplier. If this happens, the supplier will issue a credit note. This is sent by the supplier to the customer to issue a refund or cancel an invoice if some or all of an order is cancelled or returned. At the end of the whole process, or the end of a period of time, a statement of account will be sent. This is a summary of all the transactions that have taken place. So it's sent by the supplier to the customer as a summary of all the transactions that have taken place in a set period of time. So it would list all of the invoices sent and all of the payments made. At the end of the statement of account, it will say whether the customer still has an outstanding balance or not, whether the customer still owes the supplier any money. So, what was our flow of financial documents? It all started when the customer wanted to place an order. They sent a purchase order to the supplier asking them to provide goods or services. The supplier then fulfilled this request and sent a delivery note to the customer. The customer would then also receive an invoice. This was the supplier asking for payment. The customer would then send a payment to the supplier, and in return for this, the supplier would acknowledge this payment by sending the customer a receipt. At the end of a period of time, maybe a month or a year, the supplier will send a statement of accounts to the customer as a summary of all the transactions that have taken place in that time period. If for any reason goods or services have been returned to the supplier will also issue a credit note to the customer, either refunding the money or cancelling the invoice. This has been shown separately because in examinations this is not normally included in the flow of financial documents, but there may still be questions about it. Thank you for watching and listening to this video on the flow of financial documents. There are further videos on each of the financial documents, so if you haven't already done so, why not subscribe to the Time2 Resources YouTube channel.